Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 17th. We're just going to jump right in here. You have this recognition card. Love it. It says you will get the recognition and rewards you deserve. You are not going to get recognized if no one you're not going to get recognized if no one knows who you are. So clearly you need to shine your light a little bit brighter, but I feel like there is recognition coming in for you. Yeah, and definitely, like, literally, the hermit to me represents needing to shine your light brighter. He has the star in his lantern right here, and I always say, like, he needs to blast that star out all over the place. The whole story of the hermit is that he's gone on this journey like a dark night of the soul, or he's really been through it, and he's standing at the top of a mountain, and, so he's learned a lot. It says you have a lot to share with the world, Leo, but I feel like you need to kind of like blast it out there. I do have like the word new ways of communication popping into my head as well. So, for some of you, you might be communicating in new ways in your life. Look at this, Eight of Wands for sure. So Eight of Wands is a card of communication. But what I would say is it's like, if you have a business, you could be maybe starting a podcast to promote it, or you could be starting a YouTube channel. For others, if you're in work or business, you could just be learning new ways of communicating. For some of you, I feel like you're communicating in love. I would be a little bit careful with the devil, obviously. It's like, especially if someone left you out in the cold. I'll just show you here. Five of Cups, it's like some sort of disappointment, and then Wheel of Fortune, someone could be coming back around to repeat a cycle with you that's going to end in a heartbreak. So, again, if you're repeating a cycle, I would be very careful here. I always tell people, though, I don't remember who I said it to, but I said that, I actually disagree that we shouldn't go back to people during Mercury retrograde. And I'll tell you why, as crazy as that sounds. Because is it going to be a mistake? Yes, probably a huge mistake if you go back to a person during Mercury retrograde. But my thing about retrogrades is that, personally, I believe we always learn our lesson like 10 times more during the retrograde. I purposely try to make mistakes during retrogrades. Like, I start new businesses during retrogrades. I start new things during retrogrades because, do I make mistakes? Hell yes. And I'm already accident prone in the first place, right? I already make a lot of mistakes. So, I definitely make more, but I always learn from them like 10 times better during the retrograde. So, I encourage people, it's like, if you want to do it, go for it, right? Is it going to be a mistake? Hell yes, but you'll probably learn from it. And and I say probably because who the hell knows, right? But you'll probably end the cycle faster. It's like, let's say that if you went back to him after a retrograde or before, maybe it would take you like a year to get over the person or to move on. Maybe it only takes you like 2 months because you went back during the retrograde. So, I don't know. It's popping into my head. Some of you might go back to a person. Is it going to be a mistake? Maybe. And, but you'll probably learn from it. But I also feel like there's a new person that could be coming in. Again, I feel like you need to shine your light. There's something you need to kind of like put out into the world. I also always get this feeling for you recently, Leo, that I feel like you need to make sure that you're not allowing other people to like dominate the things that you're doing. Not that you would, but it's like if you're starting a new project, I feel like you need to be proud of it. Like, you need to put it out there and, don't let other people dim your light. But I also feel like you need to, like, don't be afraid to dim other people as well. I don't think we can dim other people's lights. Like, it's like other people they put out as much light as they can, and that's that. Can they put out more? Sure. But it's like, you shouldn't be, I kind of get that energy here where I feel, for whatever reason, I feel like this row is saying, like, don't dim your light for other people. Plain and simple. You have the Knight of Cups here. I do feel like there is a love offer that could be coming in for you. And, it kind of looks pretty good to me. You do end with the Three of Swords, and this is coming up in the good stuff. So, that kind of tells me that you could be going through healing. But if you want love, this could be a knight in shining armor. There needs to be communication, of course. You have the Eight of Wands. That's always true. But, obviously you have to talk to a person if you want to, go on a date with them or something, right, Leo? But what I would say is, I feel like there hasn't been communication yet. If like you're interested in a new person, or if a new person is interested in you, that could be what you're waiting for. With the Devil, you have the Justice card. Balance. I would do things in balance. I think justice is the answer to the rest of your life. I keep saying this to everyone because really I would pay very close attention to cause and effect. Basically, you put energy into something, what do you get back? And I think this is true for everyone. It's something that I pay very close attention to currently. With the Hermit, you have the Two of Cups, perfect match coming in for you. Again, I kind of feel like this reading is also saying, like, don't settle for a past person when there's something much, much better coming in for you. Looks like a soulmate. Look at this. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Lovers. Like, are you kidding me? Look at this. Lovers, Wheel of Fortune, Two of Cups, Lovers. You have the Five of Pentacles, which tells, I kind of feel like this is saying that you and a person you could be attracting have both been left out in the cold. So you might be not like mirroring a person, but the two of you could be in the same energy, but it's going to like lead to a victory with the Chariot, or, some sort of life change. So if you're looking for love, definitely looks good. If you're not looking for love, I always say that the Lovers, to me, represents picking the new path. It is a card of the crossroads. It says you could be kind of looking at a new direction in life, and I do feel a new direction would be good for you. Next, in the unexpected, you have this card that says lack of self-discipline. It says can't achieve success if you can't control yourself. To make yourself work hard. With discipline and self-control, you can accomplish more and only entertain behaviors and activities that align with your values and your goals. So I do feel like you need to kind of like be more disciplined at this time. I do feel like you actually are disciplined. I also feel like sometimes, we like set out to do things that we like actually find out we don't want to do. So if you can't get disciplined to do something, it might be a clue that you're not meant to do it. It's like I've, worked with people in businesses for years now. And, I've just noticed like some people, they like start a YouTube channel and they like struggle. They don't stay disciplined. They don't keep doing it. And I've like worked with those people and I say, why? And they just like, I don't know, I have a hard time doing it. It's like, well, but then I find out that they're really good at writing or something. It's like, oh, start a blog, do something different. You don't have to like force yourself to do things that you don't want to do. And I kind of get that energy here. You have the Five of Cups, the Lovers, and the Six of Wands. Yeah, it's like once you turn around and you are grateful for what you have, I always say with the Five of Cups that he doesn't just get those two cups. He gets this bridge in the castle over here as well. So he just has to turn around. He's lost his taste for wine, and the story of the Five of Cups is that he's lost his taste for something that he once enjoyed, but he just has to see that there's something new that he is much more enjoyable, right? Lovers, picking the new path. There's something new that is going to be much more enjoyable to you. And, maybe some of you feel like you lost something. I'm not even getting that it's just love. For some of you, it's love, but for others, it could be like a job or a business or something where it's like you feel like you lost something. And like, I feel like you feel you'll never be able to get back to that point, like however you felt with a situation that you lost. But again, clearly, I feel like you are going to be successful. I do feel like you have to be a little bit disciplined with that self-discipline card, coming up here. I also feel that there's a lot more attention coming in for you here. I feel like you've been stuck for like a few years, It's like if you've been trying to grow a business especially or a career, I feel like things have not really changed very much, but something is changing now here is what I'm getting here, Leo. It's like something feels different. With the Five of Cups, you have the Judgment card. Yes, I feel like you're waking up to like new opportunities. I also am getting I feel like you're waking up to things that can make your life a lot easier as well. Like, let's say you have two cars, but you only need one. This is a lame example, but I'm just using it as an example. Maybe you're getting rid of one of the cars so that you only have one. It's like I see you. It's almost like I see 10 of Wands popping into my head. It's like but I see it in the sense that it's like you're taking things off your plate. It's like if there's extra things that are stressing you out in your life or even bills, it's like you could be working to pay your bills off faster. And it's like you're making a little bit of a sacrifice, but at the same time, I feel like you're waking up to a new life because of it. So kind of interesting. I also feel like some of you could be ending a legal matter here. So if you're dealing with something legal, it's like something's coming to an end. With the Lovers, you have the Three of Pentacles. Love it. I love the Three of Pentacles for love because it's like a card of teamwork. It's a card of like two people who really want to work together on a team. And it's a card of kind of quality work as well. So for a lot of you, I feel like you could be displaying like a lot of quality in the work that you do. And maybe you're starting to get recognized for it finally, right? With this energy here. So love it. And here you go. With the Six of Wands, you have the Sun. Love it. Really good. This makes the reading a lot better. I already felt like it was moving in a good direction, but way better. So I feel like there's a lot of happiness, a lot of joy coming in for you, and definitely a lot of attention. Again, but I do get this thing about I feel like you need to step into the limelight here. I feel like you need to accept things as well. It's like I don't really have any good examples other than like if you ever see people who are rewarded for something and they'll be like, oh, I got lucky or something like that. I feel like this is saying no. You didn't. No, you didn't. You worked for it. And sometimes I think when people say like, "Oh, I got lucky," or when they kind of like don't take the recognition, I feel like they're selling themselves short. And you're basically saying, "Oh no, I didn't do that." So I feel like you need to be like, "Damn straight. Yes, I worked my ass off for this success," and I feel like you need to celebrate it. Especially if you did the work, which I feel like you did. Next, you have this in times of need card, help will come. It says, you're strong enough to face it all. It says hardship, loss, sadness, heartbreak. I do feel like you've gone through a heartbreak, but I feel like to me, this is like two people who have gone through a heartbreak and need to wake up to each other here, going this way. Again, the Three of Swords is showing up in the area of the good stuff. So it's like you're healing from something, but I do feel like this could be you and another person. I want to say I said this to you recently. If you're looking for love, it's almost like you could be attracting a person who has also been left out in the cold. And I feel like the two of you, look, they're not looking at each other. This guy here, he's like looking over here. He's like not even looking at this lady. So I feel like some of you need to see that there is like something very good coming in for you. You have the Wheel of Fortune. You have the power to control and change everything. With the Wheel of Fortune, we want to be at the center of the wheel. That's where, the wheel is always spinning, but when we're at the center of the wheel, we can control the things that, come into our lives. We can control the things that leave our lives, and we want to be in that position of control. So that's what I would be doing here with the Wheel of Fortune. You also have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is like quick success. So I do feel there is like quick success coming in for you. I also feel like there's good news coming in for you as well, especially if you've been waiting for news, specifically like an approval or, just news in general. I feel like there's good news coming in. I also feel there needs to be more communication. Again, I can't get away from this feeling in this reading that is really saying to me, like, you need to scream something from the mountaintops, right? Hermit, Eight of Wands here. I feel like you need to make something known, I kind of feel this energy of like, maybe you need to brag a little bit more about yourself, or maybe you need to stick up for yourself a little bit more, or say more, or do more, or just realize that you deserve something. Like, especially for those of you that, like, if you're trying to go get a job, for example, I feel like don't be afraid to brag about your, accomplishments or the things that you do. I really feel it's saying, like, don't be afraid to be confident. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Nine of Swords. I wouldn't repeat a cycle with a past bozo here, going this way. We kind of mentioned this at the beginning of the reading. For the most part, I feel like if you're attracting love, it's probably a new connection. But Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare, so I would definitely be careful of that. I am going to say this. I feel like some of you are going to have the opportunity to end a cycle like before it gets started. I don't know, kind of like a weird message, but I feel like it has to do with people in your life. It's like, especially if you're, let's just pretend you're making new friends or something like that. You might be making new friends or meeting a new person. I feel like you get a weird vibe, and I feel like this is saying, like, cut it off at the beginning. I don't really feel it's a test from the universe, but, I feel like you could have some intuitive feelings about maybe a new person you've met or someone new that you're working with, and maybe you get those feelings that you shouldn't trust that person. I feel like this is saying, cut it off before it happens. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Page of Wands. Definitely encouraging adventure. I feel like this is encouraging you to, move towards something new, like a new connection or a new business or whatever. Five of Pentacles says, like, don't call attention to your weaknesses. This guy right here, he has a bell around his neck. And back in the day, lepers had to wear bells around their neck so people would know when they were coming down the streets. And, the card really says focus on your strengths. And that's what this whole entire reading is saying to you here, Leo, is like focus on the things that you're good at. With the Eight of Wands, you have the High Priestess. I feel like you need to trust your intuition for sure. I feel like you could be getting a lot of messages with the Eight of Wands and the High Priestess, like a lot of intuitive messages, a lot of intuitive hits. And I feel like those intuitive moments are kind of, guiding you right now. So I really feel you need to trust that. I also feel that some of you, it's like all the readings have had a little bit of mystery showing up in them, and I do feel like Mercury retrogrades are a good time to kind of look into things that are mysterious to you, but we're not talking about like secretive stuff here. We're talking about like maybe you want to learn more about your business or learn about love. It's like now would be the time to do that learning, is what that is basically saying to me. Finally, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Fleeting Flare Path card. It says something in your life will be brief, not meant to stay in your life forever. Again, this is showing up in the good stuff. So, if you had like a short-term fling here, recently with the Three of Swords. It was probably just meant to teach you something, and now you're kind of moving on from it with the Three of Swords. You have the Chariot and the Hangman as well. So I feel that this could have been like a blessing in disguise. But with the Chariot, I feel like you're heading towards a victory. Some of you are moving, or some of you, I don't know, I feel like some of you have maybe like it kind of gives me a return vibe. Wheel of Fortune, Judgment is what I would say, just kind of like drawing a line from there to here. I feel like some of you have maybe traveled recently somewhere, and you could end up moving to the place that you traveled to. It's popping into my head, and I would say if you're doing that, I feel like it'll be very good for you. This could also be happening to you in the future, so don't be surprised if you're like going on a vacation and you go somewhere and you end up moving there, right? I kind of have that vibe coming up here, and if I said this to you before, I might have said this to you last week. If I did, then I definitely feel this is true. I also feel that some of you are taking much more control over your successes. Again, I feel like you're more focusing on your strengths, and that's exactly what I would be doing if I were you. I think everybody should do this right now. I think it's a time where we really need to kind of focus on what we're good at and stop focusing on like getting good at things that we're just not good at. It's like, I think I gave the example in this reading of like businesses I've worked with that try to have a YouTube channel, but they suck at it. It doesn't mean they can't get better at it, but some of those people I could tell by working with them that they didn't want to do it. And which is fine. There are plenty of other things that you can do, right? And I feel like this is saying like if your heart isn't in something, it's like there's no reason to force yourself to do it. There might be better things that work better for you, and that's what you need to find out here. You have the Hangman. Again, I feel like things have slowed down enough. I feel like you put yourself in Hangman mode recently. Could be over the past few months or so. Maybe things have been slow, or not moving forward in the right, quite in the right direction as you want them to. But the Hangman, he's put himself in Hangman mode here. He's gaining enlightenment, and now it's time to move forward with your new knowledge. So I feel like you have learned a lot over the years, not just months, years. And now it's time to put like all your learning, all your ideas, all your plans into action. And I see it being very successful. With the Three of Swords, you have the Fool, new beginning. I kind of feel like I do feel this is encouraging you to open up here. It's like you could be fearing being left out in the cold. The funny thing is as I said, I feel like you could be attracting a person who is afraid of being left out in the cold. Obviously, I do not suggest people get into relationships, having not healed their trauma, but this isn't really trauma, is what I would say. I think it's just two people who need to talk. Two people who need to be like, I'm afraid of being left out in the cold. Maybe you're afraid of the same thing. So, I always recommend that people open up their mouths, right? And say these things, because you'll probably just find out they're afraid too. And then you can just kind of get rid of the fear right there, just done, right? With the Chariot, you have the Empress, a lot of success coming in for you, a lot of abundance as well. For some of you, I feel like you're realizing, it's kind of weird, the message is popping into my head as well. Like some of you, maybe you've had a business for like 10 years or 20 years or something like that. And you have this fleeting flare path card. It's like maybe you're realizing that sounds like a long time, 10 years, 20 years, but maybe you're realizing that it's just all part of like this much bigger picture. I get a very big picture kind of abundant feeling on the Empress and the Chariot. And I feel like you're saying, this is just part of my story. So, if you're like getting a new job, looking to start a new business, or moving on from one thing, going to another, it's like, it's not that those two things are disconnected. I feel like you're seeing the connection between the two things. Why is this important? Because then you've learned from the first thing, you can bring your knowledge and wisdom forward to the second thing and have a much better outcome this time, right? And I don't know, I hope that makes sense. That was a mouthful. With the Hangman, you have the Devil. This could be a devil. This could be a Capricorn that's coming in for you here, Leo, or a person with a lot of Capricorn in their chart or something. And what I would say here is that I don't think it's talking about toxic energy. And again, this is coming up in the good stuff. So, it could be a person who's much more balanced. I feel like it could be a very creative person as well that's coming in for you. So that looks good. We're going to pull 5 main themes now here, Leo, and see what's going on. You have this revenge card. I would be careful of any new people who are entering into your circle, especially if you're getting a vibe. Again, this is only for you. Like, people always ask me, like, I met a new friend and I love them. Should I kick them out? Kick them out of my life and stuff. I'm like, no, if your vibe on them is positive, then no, this message isn't for you. But if you get a weird vibe, if you feel like they're a liar, or feel like there's something more to their story, I feel like this is saying, trust it. especially with that Nine of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. I would say especially, it doesn't matter. I feel like this is just a person. Intuitively, I feel this is like a friend or like a new friend or something. I don't know why this is so important, but I don't know. I would avoid it. But I would say they feel similar to a past mistake. Nine of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. It's like maybe you had problems with a person that you worked with in the past or a friend. This feels very similar. I would be careful. You have this manipulation card. This is actually a good card because this is Jupiter and Scorpio. And so it kind of represents manipulating the energy. And I feel a lot of you could be attracting good stuff into your life. But again, I would be careful of manipulative people. Next, you have this publicity card. The whole entire reading was about attention. We talked about this on the Hermit needing to scream from the mountaintops, right? And needing to share something with the world. So don't be afraid to, share your thoughts and ideas and, all that other stuff. Next, you have this charity card. Yeah, I feel like the universe is being more generous to you, just in general. Like, maybe in the past you'd put work into something and you'd only get like a little bit of what you thought you deserved. And really what's popping into my head is that you're getting much more feedback from the universe in the form of, could be in the form of abundance, positive energy, whatever the case may be. Yeah, you have this choice card, definitely the whole entire reading, lovers twice. I feel like the choice is simple. Number one, you have the justice card, and this card also has like the justice person right here. So, equal give and take. If you have a choice to make in your life, in any area of your life, I would say which choice fulfills you more. That is the choice I would make, is the one that actually provides some feedback. And, sometimes I think people get confused, especially in relationships. I think what people don't realize is like it's psychologically proven that if you do a lot for a person, that you feel more attached to them because you're doing things for that person. So again, it's tricky because sometimes I think people get stuck in bad relationships because they have just fallen into a pattern of doing a lot for the person. And it's popping into my head. Maybe this is something that you've done in the past where you've done a lot for a person, but they've done nothing. And again, I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't do a lot for a person. Like if you meet a person who does a lot for you, feel free to do a lot for them. Absolutely. But again, the energy needs to be balanced. What I see here is that, again, I feel like maybe some of you have this like allegiance to something but only because you do a lot for it, right? And so I kind of feel that's what needs to be balanced out, how much you give to situations. And again, I would be careful of overcorrecting. I always get these comments and that where people are like, my last person, they cheated on me and I gave all this stuff. So the next person I'm going to punish. That's basically what the people say. They're like, the next person, I'm going to make them wait 6 months for any bedroom activities and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, great. So what can they do? Can they punish you as well? Can they do something for you? It's like we need to make sure we're not punishing a new person for a past person's mistakes. So, that's what I'll say here. Rant over. But thank you for being here, Leo. I actually like this. Open your mouth, scream from the mountaintops, especially in work or business. You deserve it. So, there you go. But thank you and definitely enjoy your week.